What's going on, yo? What's going on? Let me send this link out. Then we're gonna go ahead and get started. Shout out to those that's already in here. That means you was already ready, or y'all had y'all's noties on. But let me send this link out to everybody else. All right, cool. All right, y'all. So we got a couple sides we're looking at. We're gonna wait for some people to hop up in here. Then we're gonna break some stuff down. Now, as far as what we got going on today, news-wise, again, we had a couple holidays yesterday. As far as today's concerned, again, no high impact news until later on tonight when markets reopen. We do got New Zealand news at 6:45 p.m. So right as soon as markets open, 45 minutes going in. So make sure to keep that in mind. But besides that, it's just gonna be a regular Tuesday. Like we always talk about, Mondays and Tuesdays are typically the slow days out the week. But that doesn't mean there's gonna be any setups, because clearly there was a couple setups yesterday. Those that was in the London session live or the TikTok live, we broke that stuff down. But wake up in minutes, I'm gonna break some more stuff down for y'all. Dropped the update on Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum for y'all yesterday. Make sure to check that out if y'all have not already. Got a new video dropping for y'all later on today as well. Got some stock updates for y'all, because again, it's a new month and I got to give y'all some new prices to pay attention to on the stocks we talked about, as well as I got a few other stocks for y'all. All right, I got a lot of videos and content lined up for y'all on YouTube as well as Instagram and TikTok this week. So make sure to be subbed to the YouTube channel if you're not already. Make sure to go ahead and like the live. We're almost at 3,500 subscribers. We can get to that easily. Make sure to like the live as y'all up in here as well. Another day, another. Yep. You already know, Vi. What's going on? What's going on, my boy? I see you up in here. He who shall not be named. What's going on, my boy? I see you up in here. So we're in this nice position right here. We're about to see if we can make this next higher high come into play. So I did catch a nice mass buy yesterday, but as you can see, after it hit that level, it failed to hold it as support again and rejected. Now we are still in an uptrend though, right? So we're going to be looking to see if NAS can continue to hold 19,860 as support. If it can continue to hold 19,860 as support, we can look for continued buys, because until we're no longer in an uptrend, we're going to continue to look for buys. Now, for the uptrend to continue, though, we are going to need to break past 20,070 and hold that as support. We can see for the past couple of days we failed to do so. We also have, a strong resistance level above us, but we are still bullish. So we're going to let price continue to do its thing, and we're going to continue to look for buys. Again, we don't have any high impact news today. We do got FOMC tomorrow. So that's definitely going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And besides NAS100, we're going to be looking at possible GN sales. Now, I repeat it. This is more proof right here. When I always tell y'all, we're talking about this in the TikTok live yesterday. Our price always repeats itself. This is the move it did Sunday night going into London session. Did the same move Monday night going into London session. Right? You see 8 o'clock. You see 8 o'clock yesterday. Right? And then we see price reacting the same way to this level. So like we talked about in the Sunday chart analysis and last week, how we failed to hold that level of support, we see the bearish momentum come back into play, and we see that happening right now. So just like last time we was catching sales, right? Because we was catching sales here a couple weeks ago when we was pushing back down, right? We was going for the buys when we was in an uptrend. When the reversal and downtrend came into play, we was going for sales. But just like how it is right now, price was struggling to break these support levels, treating as resistance, right? We can see that on the smaller time frame. When we go back on the bigger time frame, you can start to make a lot more sense, because again, we can see here, right, and this is what we was talking about on the past couple weeks too, how we would need to break this support level and treat that as resistance again. And we see here how this level here, we can treat that as support. And then here we can see the past couple of weeks, so struggling to turn these levels into resistance again. So we're about to see if this week price can do so. Now, again, later on tonight, we do got New Zealand news, but we're going to see what price does right now in New York session, right? It already is respecting this level as resistance here at 23.20, 23.25, which is a good sign. So now we just need to see if price can break and hold 22.25 as resistance. If we can hold 22.25 as resistance, we're going to be looking for continued sells going down to 21.40. All right, Joe. So that's what we're looking at with GBP New Zealand. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that buy idea because we're no longer looking for buys. And then GJ, same situation. I'm going to personally leave GJ alone for right now because it's in reversal territory and in no man's land right now. And what I mean by that is, again, we caught this higher high last week. We failed to hold this level as support. So depending on if we can maintain the 191.15 as support, we could get sucked into reversal territory. So I'd much rather wait for price to break above and hold 191.90, 191.95 as support to go for buys. Or I'm simply just going to see if it breaks below 190.30 as resistance, then I'll go for sales. As right now, I'm just going to let it do its thing, right? Because last time we was here, we were stuck here for a minute as well. So again, it's all about high probability, high quality setups. We see there is volume below this level. We see there was volume above this level. So I'm not going to really trade here. But again, we see price reacting the same exact way that it was reacting last week when it was stuck at this price point. You know what I'm saying? If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When you look at any charts, drop them in the chat. Make sure to hit that first link. Whoops. Oh, they're clicking the side buttons on my mouse. Good thing I stopped myself. Over this one. But anyways, be sure to join the hit that first link in the description. Join the free signal, free Telegram. Y'all see on your screens how we did last month and last quarter. Go ahead and hit that first link and check it out for yourselves. We're going to break that down in a second. So recap of yesterday, right? NAS when as projected, GU when as projected. We ended yesterday when markets closed, hitting TP3, as you can see in the screenshot here. But this is what I always say. Don't be scared to get wicked out, because I got wicked out. Price retraced, consolidated on our entrance level, then broke back down last night. Another entry, and then we hit like TP5, right? But like we was talking about in the TikTok live yesterday, as well as the London session live yesterday, for the downtrend to come into play, as far as GBPUSD is concerned, we need to break this support level here at 32.55 and hold it as resistance. We can see here that price failed to do so, which is why the downtrend stopped, and why also, when we go into small time frames, each time we came to these levels, price would try, then reject, try, then reject, try, then reject, right? So for a downtrend to come to play, we're going to have to break that level. Now, if we break back above 33.25, 33.30, we can't see the bullish momentum come back into play. As we see here, we was going for buys there. So that's what's going on with GU. But this is why it's also important to understand what's happening so you can prepare and react accordingly while you're in a position. You get what I'm saying? So the same signal I was able to take 2 positions on and make money on, just because I understand what's taking place. I'm not letting a winner turn to a loser, and I'm going with the flow of price, right? So good start to the week. But we're just waiting for volume to pick up. Again, we have a lot of charts still kind of in reversal territories or trying to break out of it. G is an example, and gold is another example as well. But y'all was in the TikTok live, gold is doing what we was talking about, right? So the same thing GU struggled to do, that's what happened with gold. So gold broke out of the reversal territory, which is why we went for sales on Friday. But as we see here, Thursday and Friday last week, we failed to break this next level and treat it from supported resistance. And if we did that, the downtrend would have continued. We see price fail to break that level, respected the support, which is why the uptrend came back into play. So now we're back looking for buys right here. You get what I'm saying? That's also why yesterday, if y'all was in the London session live, remember we was looking at possible sales here. But this is why, again, it's so important to stick to the playbook, Follow your rules, wait for your confirmations, and not be in such a rush to take a setup. Because imagine if we was a breakout trader or we got so impatient or tempted that we would have took a sell here. We would have took an unnecessary loss for no reason, right? So this is why it's so important to be patient and stick to your rules, especially when you see that the rules work, they play out, right? And we see that every day. But we got a new 15 about to. Let's see what this next 15 does for us. You guys got any questions? Drop in the chat. When looking at your charts, drop in the chat. If you already know the drill, we're just chilling, patiently waiting right now. Thoughts on GJ? So GJ, I'm not messing with today. Right, so I don't know if you just hopped in here, so I'll just say it again. I'm not messing with it unless it breaks above and holds 190.190 as support, or it breaks below and holds 190.25 as resistance. All right, so right now, it's in reversal territory, so I'm just gonna let it do its thing. All right, but I went a little bit more in depth, so I don't know if he was in here when I did, but if you just, we ain't been live too long, so we just rewind like 8 minutes or so, which rewind till you see me talking about GJ. You'll hear me break it down more in depth why that's the case. So I gotta add some more levels on gold because we went back to the bullish momentum. So I'll probably do that. But we are going to be looking for buys on gold because we do have the bullish momentum back into play. And again, the downtrend is no longer active, right? The downtrend is no longer active. So as long as we respect the whole 33.46 as support, we're going to be looking for buys on gold. So as of where price is at right now, right, is trying to see if it can break and hold 33.70 as support. If it can hold 33.70 as support, we can look for buys going to 33.90. But if it rejects this level and retraces, which I'm not against, we can look for possible buys at 33.42, 33.44 if it holds as low as support, right? So that's what's going on with gold. And again, we're not missing anything. I got my alert. So y'all see the alerts pop up in the bottom left of my screen all the time. So when price comes to my levels, we switch to it immediately. So again, we're not really missing anything right now. With GJ taking a nap. We're waiting to see if GN can break the support level and hold it as resistance. What's going on, Chanel? You ain't missed too much. You ain't missed too much. We was just doing a recap of yesterday, right? We just did a recap of yesterday. Again, if y'all check out, make sure to hit that first link in the description. Check out the Sunday chart analysis, y'all. Again, the Sunday chart analysis goes over not just what we see price doing Sunday night going into Monday, but it goes over what we see price doing throughout the entire week. If you go to last week's Sunday chart analysis, watch it, you'll see that majority, if not all the charts. I can't say all because I didn't double check it. I know most of the charts, if not all, went exactly as projected. Don't believe me, just check it out yourselves. Everything's dated, timed, and documented. But y'all see on y'all screens how we did last month and last quarter. We went absolutely crazy last week. We went 5-0 last week, catching 81,120 pips. You're gonna go to May 4th. You can see this right here. All of the losses are posted. We broke all these trades down as well, entered them live. And then if you scroll to May 2nd, just like you see on your screen, you can see how we ended last month. April, we wrapped up 16-1, only took one loss last month, giving us a 94% win rate, catching a total of 68,765 pips. So we've been going absolutely crazy this year, y'all. But as of right now, now we got a couple setups we're looking at. Also, as buy, and then like I said, we're not messing with GJ today. And then we're really looking for gold buys as well. And then we're just watching GU to see how GU plays out. All right, so I got worked out of both my GU positions I took yesterday. Well, I took this one yesterday. I took this one last night. So again, just gonna watch to see if it's going to try to break this resistance level, hold it back at support. If it can do that, we may see the bullish momentum uptrend come back into play. Or if we break back below 32.90, we can see sells. But for the downtrend to come into play, we're going to have to hold 32.60 as resistance. All right. Hold on 1 second. I think I might have. Hold on. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I'm about to fix that. I did the wrong. Fix that. That's not correct. There we go. So I just fixed that. Got a new video dropping for y'all later on today at the beginning of the New York session. Make sure to have y'all's noties on and be ready for that. Make sure to subscribe too if you're not subscribed already. We're almost at 3,500 subscribers. We can get to that easily. All right, so gold just alerted us. All right, so it looks like gold's about to try to break this low. Let's see if we can hold it. Let's see what else we got going on. It's still chilling right here. So let's see if gold can hold this level. Let's see if we can hold that level. So you said, can we take a look at GBPUSD? Yeah, we can take a look at that. Was you in the TikTok live yesterday? Or is GBPUSD just popular nowadays? Because I had like 2 or 3 people on the TikTok live yesterday talk about GA as well. So GA, man, my charts are all over the place. I haven't traded this in freaking forever. Right. So with GA, we're kind of in reversal territory. And what I mean by that is we can see that we have bullish momentum. So let me just go ahead and go to the naked chart because these levels are going to throw me off. All right. So we had bullish momentum. Price failed to make a new higher high. And then we had consolidation right here. Price failed to hold this level as support. And we had a reversal take place. So depending on how price reacts to this level to the left of us, we can potentially see the downtrend come into play, right? So we break past to start to hold like 565.50 as resistance. We can see the downtrend come into play, but it's going to have to break this level of traffic to the left. So our reversal territory. So someone in the live yesterday, they're swing trading though, so it's a little bit different, but they're in a buy position. And I'm going to tell you the same thing I told them, right? I'll tell you the same thing I told them. For the uptrend to continue and come into play, it's going to have to break through this level of traffic to hold it back as support. So we're kind of in reversal territory. So it's either going to reject this level, bounce back up, which is probably why they went for the swing trade. You know, people like to go for bounces, or it's going to, a volume can continue. It's going to break through this level, treat this level for support, turn it into resistance, and the downtrend is going to continue. So that's what's going on with GA. So I personally wouldn't even trade this chart just because of the conditions. And I'd look for another chart that's a lot cleaner, right? I like to trade clean looking charts. Obviously, prices are going to always be pretty and neat, but it's all about high probability, high quality setup. So I'd much rather look for a chart that's looking closer to one of these or one of these versus something like that, right? But that's why I got going on with GA. But like I said, I wouldn't even really look at that. It'd be in the same category as GJ right now, which is I'm not trading it until it goes above or below those set levels we talked about earlier. All right, like so that's what we got going on GA. Let's go back to gold real quick. So yeah, gold's about to try to make a move. So we're gonna see how that candlestick closes. Like I said, if gold can hold 33.70 as support, we can look for buys going to 33.92. It looks like it's about to try to make that move right now. So yeah, I'm about to fix my gold screen. Update some stuff. So give me 1 second. Got a new 15 about to pop up in a little bit. So we got NAS retesting this level. We got gold just breaking the level. We also got GU about to reattempt to break back above this level as well. Like I always say, y'all, I don't care which direction price goes. I just, like we was talking about with GA, I just want price to be in a clean trend, a clean cycle. And I'm just worried about what direction price is going, right? So again, a lot of these charts, we're struggling to continue trends or break out of reversal territory. Exhibit A, we struggled for like 3 fucking weeks to continue the downtrend. We had a reversal, failed to start the uptrend, and reversed back down. Now we're struggling to continue the downtrend again, right? Look at GJ, literally all week up until Thursday, GJ was stuck under this resistance level, broke through, failed to hold this low at support. Now we're right back where we left off last week on Tuesday, Monday. GU, same thing. We had an uptrend, made a higher high, failed to hold these levels of support. Then we're also struggling to break this resistance on support low trade as resistance. So we're basically playing right around the rosy until volume picks up and we continue the uptrend or start the downtrend. Gold, we just broke down gold as well. We just had price again a couple weeks in reversal territory, broke out of it on Friday and Thursday last week, failed to continue the downtrend, reversed back into the uptrend. We look at NAS100. Right, this one is like the cleanest at all of those. Right, so we just got to hold these next couple levels of support and break this resistance level. We see all these charts besides NAS100, NAS looking the cleanest out of all these, are struggling to continue trends or start new trends. Right, this is what the markets do sometimes. So again, this is why it's important to understand what's going on, so that way when you do take positions, you're not confused, stressed, or freaking out. But also this will help you, be a lot pickier with your setups, right? It'll make you be a lot more patient and cautious with your entries and setups. All right, new 15 just popped up. Let's put gold back on there. I want to wait for a retest though. It's too far for entry for me personally anyways. I'm trying to let it do its thing. You got GU about to try to break this level too. We got GN still teasing us. We got GJ rejecting, which is again why I'm just gonna wait for it to either break the level of support or break the support level, hold it as resistance, right? Because right here, this is all reverse territory. We got NAS still chilling on this level right here. We're just 30 minutes in the London session though, so we're going to see how today plays out.
every 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
So we got gold pushing, NAS rejecting. GU looks like it's about to try to break this level here. And then we got GN and GJ still trying to figure their lives out. You guys got any questions, drop in the chat. When we're going to need charts, drop in the chat. We're going to be on for a little bit longer, y'all. So this is what I mean by the retest. So gold just retest this level. So it's holding as support. So this is looking nice right here. And then GU just broke this level as well. So again, like I said, we was in reversal territory with GU. So if it can hold this level of support at 33.30, we can look for buys, but it's got a little bit of work to do. It's still going to need to hold 33.75 of support because we're uptrend to continue. It's going to have to make higher highs, meaning it's going to have to break these highs to the left. Now, gold, like we was talking about, was looking for a retest. You can see it broke, price broke this level. It hasn't tapped it yet, but it is still holding this, which is a good sign. Now we got NAS100 rejecting this level. So we're going to see how this plays out. Still going to hold to SRT to get here, though. Not tripping either way. If we're up for the week, we're up for last week, we're up for the month. So even if it is a stop loss, it's not going to hurt my profits. So we're just going to let that play out. And we're going to see if GN is going to wake up right here. So we got a few more setups we're looking at. We got a new 5-minute about to pop up, y'all. Again, if you guys got any questions, drop in the chat. When you need charts, drop in the chat. But this is pretty much it, y'all. Just simply just understanding what your game plan is and then just waiting for your confirmations, right? Every day is a little bit different. Not every day when you hop on the charts, volume's going to be flying. You'll be able to trade immediately. But there are some days when it is like that. It's not going to be like that every day. New 5-minute popped up. Who's just joined the stream? We have not entered this trade yet. This is just a trade idea. Make sure to hit that first link in the description. Join the free signal, free Telegram. Y'all see on your screens that we did last month and last quarter. Go ahead and hit that first link and check it out for yourselves. Again, we're going absolutely crazy lately. We go ahead and pull it up. We go ahead and pull it up. All right, and I had a comment on one of my posts last night where they were like, "Oh, I looked at one of your trades, and it doesn't look like that's the move it did, right?" And so they were talking about, I'm pretty sure they're talking about this GU setup. Whatever trade, let me pull out my phone. Let me go to the video. So I want to make something up. So let me go to the video really quick. Give me 1 second. Let's see. What trade was this? Let me go to the video really quick. I think it was this GU setup. Yeah, 1 second. What was this setup? No, it was this GU setup. So it was on this video, right? Where I broke down this setup right here. So I'll drop this in the chat to show the rest. I'll drop this in the chat. But he was basically like, the signal doesn't match what the trade actually did. So let me explain, right? So I can pull up this trade too. So let's go ahead and pull this up. See the date, this GBPJPY, Wednesday the 23rd, going into Thursday. So we're going to go into the advanced play signal room. 24th, I'm going to go to 24th. Give me 1 second. Okay. So again, we see we took the initial first buy on Wednesday the 23rd. This is an old signal. We go here into the advanced play signal room, Wednesday the 23rd, right? Entry, SL, TPs, just like I showed in the video. Now the final T, this is what he was talking about. The final TP says 190.45, right? So I'm going to put a line here. We're going to change the color so I don't throw myself off. And we're going to go to, what it said, 190.45. So we're going to click this, and we're going to go to 190.45. Right. So this is where the final TP played out. Okay. So he was saying that doesn't match this trade right here that I was showing in that video, which is correct. But this is why it's important to watch the Sunday chart analysis, be in the London session lives, as well as when you take signals, I drop New York price watch list. Right. So again, we took this Tokyo session at night. Right. So you see, we had a New York price watch list the day beforehand. The next day at 10:30 a.m., 5:31 p.m. Right. I said GJ's the only chart that excuse me. I said GJ's the only chart that did the move was looking for. Everything else ended up continuing to retrace last range. We'll be back on the charts tonight when market opens looking for setups. We set that at 5:31 p.m., 3 minutes before markets open. You see here later on that night, 9:02 p.m. during Tokyo session, we took this setup. TP2 got hit, right? And again, if you go to the live stream on the 20th, I say you gotta watch the live. If you're not watching the live or watching New York price watch list, you're going to be confused on how shit's playing out or why things are doing what they're doing, right? So you see here, TP2 got hit 9:16 p.m. We go to 9:16, right? This is 8 o'clock, this is 9 o'clock. You can see here, 9:15 candlestick. Up here, at the price of TP2, it rejected. We got wicked out. Again, you go to the Thursday live stream, the 24th, you would literally hear as well as see me break this down and say if we can maintain a hold this low as support 189.55, 189.60, we can look to continue buys 190.30. And just like we were talking about with GU, gold, and GN, right? What about this reversal territory, all that stuff? I also said in that video that if we're going to continue, though, we're going to need to hold this low as support, right? So then we go back in here. You see, we dropped the New York price wash at 10:34 a.m. You see, I'm breaking down GJ. You see, I have the G. You see, I'm breaking it down, right? This is what GJ was looking like when I dropped that video. Again, 10:45 candlestick, 10:30 candlestick, dropped it at 10:34, right? Then you see here, 12:43, I said GU and GJ going as projected. We go to 12:43, it's the 12:45 candlestick, 12:30 candlestick, right? It's making its way back up here. You see when volume picked up, it broke through this level and kept pushing. Then you see the rest of the TPs got hit. Now, when all the TPs get hit, I always say the same thing: move SL in profit or close. Now, why do I say that? Because we watch the New York price washes, watch the London session lives, or Sunday chart analysis. We know that, or if you take a trade, right, you know that sometimes price will surpass all TPs. So this is why it's important to understand the rules of price, what's going on the charts, because then you can catch more pips if you know what you're doing, or especially when you're going with the flow of price. So basically he was like, that signal doesn't match what you're showing. Well, yes, but like we saw here, this was the final TP. So after price broke that final TP, my SL never got taken out. So then when price pushed back up, I went for another position. I held this position. And again, we see this was Thursday, market close, going into Tokyo session, going into the next day. And again, if you go back to a Thursday live, you go back to that whole week, we broke this stuff down. So of course you watch a video from 2 weeks ago and you weren't here for the whole walkthrough of the analysis, you're not going to fully understand what happened, right? But it's the same shit we do every single day, right? So this is why it's important to, well, of course you watch it, you come late, you're not going to understand, but that's why I always tell y'all, if you're sitting in free Telegram, every day, I always like, we broke this trade down in today's live, watch the stream here. I say that every time we take a trade, because again, if you're just taking signals or you not watching the lives, you're not going to understand why I'm saying this shit myself, right? Every time we take a trade, I always say we broke this down in today's live, watch the stream here. I'm not just saying that because I want you to watch my YouTube lives. I'm saying that because, again, I started the playbook. I'm assuming everybody watches my streams or watching my videos or finds my videos because they're learning how to trade. And if you want to learn, you have to put the time in, study, pay attention, right? That's also why at the recaps of the week, I'm always also saying, right, we went 5-0 last week. That's why at the recap of the week, I'm also always saying a lot of other setups that's projected from the Sunday chart analysis and the London session live. You're tuning in. If you're not watching or tuning in, you are missing out. And that is why I purposely, every recap of the week, in it or hook it to the Sunday chart analysis, because I'm trying to get y'all to watch the shit, right? That's why even though I tell y'all and y'all should know what time I go live, I still send a link out to let you know that I'm live. I'm trying to get y'all to do the hardest thing that people don't fucking do, which is put that time in to learn how the charts work and all that shit, right? So we got GN pushing up, so we're simply just not going to take the trade because the confirmation's not met, right? Let's see what GU's got going on. Usually simply try to push and break that. And then this is what we mean by the retest. So again, this is why it's important just to stick to your rules, because did we miss any pips if we would have entered off this candlestick compared to waiting for the retest and getting a better entry? No. So this is what we was talking about before, why you just gotta stick to the analysis, trust your game plan, and just be patient, right? Because again, we didn't miss a damn thing. So now we have another confirmation that price can potentially not only maintain this level, but take out this high to the left. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Nas is still on drawdown. Let's retest the gold. Not against that. So like I said, gold, if we can hold 33.70 as support, we can look for why it's going to 33.90, 33.92. Nas, we're bullish. We need to hold now. We did a big move yesterday, as we can see here. I'm not yesterday, last week. And as we can see here, this level was clearly a resistance level, but it never got well, it got turned to support on like the smaller time frame. Right? Like if we're going to the 5 minute, we might see it turned into support. Let's find out. All right, so let's zoom in a little bit. So yeah, it turned to support on the smaller time frame, but on the bigger time frames, it didn't. So if it fails to hold 19,860 as support, it could try to retrace back down to 19,550, where I would still be looking for buys. I wouldn't really look for sells on this unless we break below and start holding it like 19,150, 19,160 as resistance, right? So it could end up rejecting this level, like a lot of these other charts are failing to continue trends, like I was talking about earlier in the live. So we're going to see how that plays out right there. Gold again, nice retest. So now we're about to see if we can take these highs out. We're waiting for extra confirmation. You got a better entry because you're not filming, you're trying to rush a setup. And again, most importantly, we did not miss anything from this initial breakout and where prices are right now. So this is why the still calm collected, the rush really setups and things like that. Same thing here, right? I would have saw the charts and missed this trade Tokyo session and then try to take a trade here, but not wait for price to see if it could hold as resistance. I would have took an unnecessary loss here for no reason, right? Not because sales is the wrong move to go for, but just simply because price was not ready or showing signs that it was going to hold to resistance. And I got GU still as resistance. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens today. Again, as far as high impact news, we got nothing going on today, but we'll also be open later on tonight. We do got 6:55 New Zealand news. So make sure to keep those times in mind, y'all. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok too. Y'all see it scrolling at the bottom of y'all screens. Instagram playmaker_way, TikTok playmaker_way _ post daily on both pages. Also go live on TikTok at least 3 times a week. So make sure to follow me on TikTok. We went live yesterday. Broke down all the sales we took last week as well as yesterday. We might go live today as well. I'll let y'all know, like always. Give me 1 second. Let's go back on gold. See what gold. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we're looking at your charts, drop them in the chat. Again, got a new video dropping for you at the beginning of New York session on YouTube. Make sure to be on the lookout for that. Have y'all's notice on and be subbed. We're almost at 3,500 subscribers. We can get to that easily. And I really want to catch this GN setup, but the green confirmations are met, so I'm not going to pull the trigger because I know if I patiently wait for my confirmations to be met and the downtrend does continue, I'm going to catch a nice move. So that's all the more motivation for me to just patiently wait, right? Because as a trader, one of the most satisfying satisfying things. It's not just seeing your trade go your way, but just watching it continue to push, whether that's pump or dump in your direction. It's the most satisfying and rewarding things when it comes to trading. What should I do now in gold? What do you mean, what should you do? Elaborate. What do you mean, what you should do? I can answer your question, but the reason I want you to elaborate because I want to, one, figure out exactly where your mind's at. Also get those the brain flowing. But what do you mean what you should do? Did you hear my analysis, or are you talking about like, are you in the trade? Like, what are you confused about? Let me know what's going on. Let me know what's going on. I got you. And again, I know I'll be talking about crypto because, like I always say, you should ask me about crypto or stocks. I'm always going to say crypto. But do not be asleep on the weekly stock analysis, right? I showed y'all on Saturday. I showed this in that TikTok live yesterday. I dropped this video at the beginning of the month, right? All you got to do is scroll up to Saturday, not that long ago, right? Click right here. I dropped this video at the beginning of the month of April, before FOMC, before all the reports and shit. I told y'all these 5 stocks to get in on. Okay, this is what it did 2 or 3 days after I posted the video. Palantir went up 24% for the day, right? 3% CBS, Meta 14%. Now we fast forward to how it ended, right? Because we're in a new month. This is how it did for the month. Palantir. Now, depending on the prices y'all got in on, you could be up a lot more, because I'm up way more on all of these because I got in at certain price levels, right? Like we talk about all the time, these percentages are accurate if you get in at key price points. That's a whole other conversation, right? But if y'all's in TikTok live, that's why you gotta be following on TikTok, right? Y'all's in TikTok live, you understand, because we broke that down in yesterday's live, right? But for the month, you could have been up 45%, if not more, or a little bit less. Again, depends on you entered. MicroStrategy for the month, 36%. Schwab down 5%, but Schwab, it's a dividend thing. And it's like literally like worth $5. It doesn't move that much. So, like I said, it also depends on where you're at, because I'm up on my Schwab investment. But that's because I've been talking about Schwab for longer than last month. So I'm up a lot on that, but that's another conversation. CBS up 4% for the month. Again, it could be up more depending on where you enter that. And the Meta for the month up 6%. So again, this stuff works on everything: crypto, forex, options, and stocks, and obviously gold as well, because we see gold doing exactly what we was talking about. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe if you're in that gold position. Again, y'all heard me say we're gonna wait for the retest. I saw gold do the retest. You see gold's right back where it left off with that initial breakout. So now we're about to see if not only can we maintain hold this level of support, but we can again make our way up to 33.90. All right. Well, on the other hand, NAS is rejecting. Right, but this is why again you want to not over leverage and look at multiple charts, right? Because let's say NAS is the stop loss. I'm already up this week from these 2 positions, right? Took this position yesterday, took this position last night. I'm already up on these 2 positions, right? So I basically made like 1 to 2. We combined these. But even if we didn't take a trade yesterday, and by the way, I also took a NAS trade. I also took this NAS trade yesterday that we broke down in the London session live yesterday. But I didn't call that as a signal because it moved too quick. But members and students, you already know about that. The video I dropped for y'all. right? But we talked about this in the London session live yesterday. And I caught this nice move. And again, if you was on TikTok live, y'all just saw this. So I'm up. I had a nice 1-2 on this position. I had these two GU positions, right? So even if NAS hits my stop loss today, I'm still up for the week. Let alone we just went 5-0 last week. We only lost one trade last month. So I'm still up, right? This is why it's important to be consistent with everything and not try to focus on home runs, because trading is a long-term game, right? I was talking to a member student about this yesterday during a one-on-one session, right? Trading is a long-term game, right? A lot of people get fucked up with trading because you hear me say this a lot too. A lot of people come into trading with the employee mindset instead of employer or a business mindset. And what I mean by that is, aside from salary, if you show up the same amount of days every week, work the same hours at your job, your paycheck's gonna be the exact same every 2 weeks, every week. But when it comes to a business or being an employer, it's different. You show up the same times every day, but your results and outcomes every day are different, right? Like, for example, a restaurant. Restaurants are usually busier on weekends and they make more money on the weekends, right? So does that mean that they don't know how to run a restaurant on Mondays and Tuesdays because everybody's at fucking work and nobody's, spending their paycheck and bread on the weekend having fun? No, that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes, right? Another thing, right? Sometimes when you run a business, you have to spend or you lose money, whether that's fees, bills, things got to get fixed, repaired, or whatever. That's the same exact thing with trading. You show up the same time every day. You look at the same setups every day. You go for the same setups every day. But every day is different. Some days and weeks we're in an uptrend. Some days and weeks we're in a downtrend. Some days and weeks we're in consolidation. Some days and weeks there's more volume than others. And then some days and weeks you make money. Some days you lose money. And also, wins are always different. You're not making the same amount every single trade, right? But that's why it's so important to understand what we're doing here at the end of the day, which is what we're investing. Part of investing is getting a good return on your investment. How do you get a good return on your investment? Is by making smart investments, which is why, again, we do the same things every single day. We stay consistent. We stick and follow the playbook. All right. We got GU pushing up as well. We're gonna be on for a little bit longer, y'all. We got a new 5-minute about to pop up. You guys got any questions, drop in the chat. When we need charts, drop in the chat. This is also why it's important to be in the lives too, because y'all get to see real time how price actually moves versus you watch one of my trade breakdowns or you watch a 60 second video on social media. You actually get to see realistically how candles form, waiting for confirmations, all that good stuff. You said wait to a buy, so that was a few minutes ago. So maybe you got that question answered already. Let me see what else you got going on here. Okay. I'm glad you said this. Now, don't take this personally. This is a teaching moment, right? You're not the only person. You should not be trading, especially not gold. You should not be trading gold with $40. Okay. So that whole sentence tells me that you're either new to trading or you're still not completely profitable, which is fine. So the last thing you need to do, what I would personally tell you to do, is withdraw that $40. Don't even worry about trading on a live account. The biggest mistake I made and everybody makes, is just part of the trading game, is trying to make money while trying to learn how to trade. If I've never rode a bike before, should I just hop on with or without training wheels? Should I watch somebody ride a bike first, or should I just hop on and find out what happens? You can do either or. But what happens if you ride a bike first with training wheels? You get to understand how the bike works. You get a sense of balance. And then once you get the hang of it through repetition and practice, then you take off the training wheels. What usually happens to the average person that's never rode a bike before and hops on a bike without training wheels? They bust their ass. If I've watched every Fast and Furious movie, played Need for Speed, I'm number one in the world in Mario Kart, but I've never driven a car in real life, what is the likelihood of me hopping in a car and not crashing? It's very slim. So being a new trader and trying to learn how to trade and testing out these videos and strategies you see online with your real money, and you've never traded before, what do you think is most likely going to happen? You're going to lose money, which is what you've done, right? Because that's why you're scared of losing it all, because you've obviously lost money. And by doing that is why people's heads be so fucked up, and people always be talking about trading psychology, and why we got all these losers on the internet talking about trading is a scam, trading is risky, all this other dumb shit, because they're doing what you're doing, they did what I did, and what everybody does when they first started trading. If you're brand new to trading, the last thing you need to worry about is trying to make money, because you're not going to make money. I know that sounds fucked up. I'm not here to sell you dreams. I'm here to be honest with you. Now, listen to what I said, because I know sometimes people, tunnel vision on words. If you are brand new to trading, the last thing you need to worry about is trying to make money, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose money. That's just how it's going to work. What you need to be focusing on is how to read the charts. You need to first learn how the charts work, because we make money based on the charts, we lose money based on the charts. The fear and confusion is also based on the charts. So again, just logically thinking, if I don't know how to read the candlesticks, if I don't know how to read the charts, if I don't understand the basics of trading, logically thinking, doesn't make sense for me to be putting my hard-earned money on the line. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. No. And this is another reason why you see in the space so many people talk about trading is gambling. I say it all the time. Trading isn't gambling. You are just gambling. Trading isn't risky. You're just being risky. So luckily you came into the right place. I'm not just here to tell you all of that, right? If you go to my YouTube channel and you go to playlist and go to the day trading tips playlist, I got a bunch of videos going over how to read the charts, how to identify trends, how to identify reversals, support, resistance. I got videos going over my trading plan, all that good stuff. Okay. So definitely explore and study the YouTube channel. Make sure to hit that first link in the description. Join the free Signal and free Telegram. Okay. Do that right now. Are you serious? Do it right now, because I guarantee you, another reason why people struggle is because people want to procrastinate. Okay. Are you serious about learning how to trade? Do that shit right now. Go to the playlist, save a video to watch later after this live's over. Join the free Signal and free Telegram right now, so you're tuned in and notified every time I'm live. You can see all my analysis and all that good stuff. You can see the method to the madness. All right. Now, another thing that I would recommend, because again, there's the easy way and the hard way, right? If I want to learn how to play a guitar, I can go on YouTube for hours and days and weeks and months, and through trial and error, find videos to learn, or I find someone that knows how to play the guitar and have them teach me, right? So again, if you want to learn how to play the guitar on YouTube, go check out my playlist, right? I got all the information you need on my playlist on my channel. Also, make sure to follow my Instagram and TikTok. That way you get daily videos and tips to help you stay focused and locked in. Instagram, TikTok, scroll at the bottom of the screen. Okay? Instagram, playmaker_weight, TikTok _playmaker_weight_ post every day on it. Okay? Now, if you want to shorten the process, I recommend getting the book that I just created. Let me pull that up. Right? Because you have to learn and understand how to read the charts. You have to. Because everything that people complain about, or when it comes to trading, they blame the charts, right? If a trade don't go their way, what they say? Oh, the bulls came in. Oh, the bears came in. Oh, a fake out. Oh, liquidity sweep. All this shit has to do with the lack of understanding how the charts work. Okay. So you got to know how the charts work before you can do anything when it comes to trading. I even tell long-term investors to learn how to read the charts. Don't just watch the news and try to follow statistics and all that good shit, right? So get you the price action and technical analysis playbook. This goes over step by step, not just how the charts work, but how to read the charts. It goes over the rules of the uptrend, rules of the downtrend, rules of consolidation, what is required for the uptrend to continue, what is required for the downtrend to come into play and continue. I give real picture examples. So again, go on Instagram and TikTok, look at one of the pinned posts. You can see what the book looks like. Also, make sure to follow me on TikTok because we go live at least 3 times a week where I go over the book, open up the book, and show you the method to the madness and all that good stuff. But you're going to need this book, or you're going to need to learn how to read the charts before anything. Again, in order to trade, you got to be 18 or older, so you're a grown-ass adult. If you want to learn the hard way and do what I did and everybody else does, which is blow a lot of money in the beginning for no fucking reason, go for it. But I'm trying to help you save money, especially because you said you're on your last 40 in your account, right? So I would tell you to withdraw that money. Don't worry about finding a broker. Don't even worry about trading on a demo. Don't even worry about trading on a live account, especially. Focus on learning how to read the charts. Okay. After you learn how to read the charts, you click this link. I got all my books there. After you learn how to read the charts, then you have to have a game plan, which you don't have either. Again, I'm not bashing you. I'm just blunt, right? I don't sugarcoat shit. I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm here to tell you what you need to know, right? You obviously don't have a trading plan. So you got to learn how to read the charts. You got to have a trading plan. You got to stick to that trading plan. Also, you got to know how to do simple math. You got to know how to calculate your lot size. You got to know, again, how to make good investments and make a return on your investment, right? So there's things you got to learn first before you start to trade, right? Because back to that analogy, right? Let's say I've never driven a car before, but I watched every Fast and Furious movie and I'm number 1 in the world in Mario Kart. Does that mean that if I grab your car keys and go onto the road, I'm going to be able to drive a real car? No. It's a process to get a license and start driving on the streets. And even after you do that process, I mean, just go outside. I mean, just on the way to work, on the way off of work, you're going to see an accident on the highway. So that even shows you that even when people know the basics, there's still people that still don't know how to fucking drive, right? Just like with trading, there's people that know the basics but still don't know how to trade properly because, again, there's a few things that you still need to have in place, right? But again, it's a process. When it comes to driving, it's a process. You don't just get your driver's license. First, you got to learn the rules of the road. You got to know what signs mean what. You got to know who has the right of way when. You got to know what light means what speed limit to go, right? And then once you pass the online test and show that you know the rules of the road, then you take the driver's test. But even then, right, they don't just go onto the road with you. They want to know that you understand how to operate the vehicle. They want to see you turn the machine on. They want to see you turn the turn signals on, honk the horn, turn the lights on, the headlights on. They want to see if you know how to parallel park, reverse park, even take the car out of park. Then once you understand the basics of how the car works, then you hit the road, right? But even after you know the basics, you still got to practice and get good and better over time when it comes to driving. Because as we all know, there's still motherfuckers that got a license that don't know how to fucking drive, right? So it's the same thing with trading. You can't just learn about trading a week ago, put money into a broker, and start being profitable. That's just not how it works, unfortunately. So that is my recommendation to you. All right. Again, it's not trading is not a get rich quick scheme. It's not a method. It's not none of this other shit, right? It's at the end of the day investing. Now, the more money you have, the more money you can make off your investments. But at the end of the day, trading is investing. Okay. So before you invest your money, you got to invest your time to learn the craft, to learn the skill. So I got whipped out of NAS, but we're up on gold, so we're kind of canceling out that loss. So we're gonna let this thing play out. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we're looking at charts, drop them in the chat. GJ rejected. So I'm gonna bring this alert down. Like I said, if we break below 190.25 as resistance, we're going to be looking for sales into 189.60. Right? We're going to look for sales down here, or price breaks above and holds 191.90 as support. I'm going to look for buys into 192.70. Now, why am I not looking for buys or sales here? Because again, this is reversal territory. I like to trade with the flow of price and with the trend. And right now, you can see here, it's an area where price has been struggling to push up or push down. So again, I'm waiting for price to break out of that, because if we can hold either slow support or this low resistance, we're not only going to have a bigger move, but when I do take that setup, I'm going to have a higher likelihood of that trade going my way. Here's a clear example of that. Price was struggling to break this resistance level. Again, I was looking for sales, and we broke this support level and held it as resistance, as you can see here. So I'm going to do the same exact thing on the other side. The price breaks this resistance level and holds it as support. I'm going to go for buys, which is exactly what we did here, right? Same thing here. Price was struggling to break this resistance level. Once it broke it, held that support, we went for buys. All right. So again, it's just all about patience, and you just got to train yourself. Because I know a lot of other videos and stuff online, they don't teach you exactly this way. But this is why I teach y'all not to chase price or follow the flow of price, right? Because I'm all about going for high probability, high quality setup, right? So look what happened here. This is also why I wait for the retest. Because imagine if we would have went for sales here because we weren't following the flow of price on the bigger time frame. We saw price reject this level, and then as soon as price broke this level, we went for a sell. We would have fell for the quote unquote liquidity grab, fake out, sweep, whatever the fuck. But in all reality, price never turned this level from resistance to support, and we had clear bullish momentum to the left. So market surprise, that price decided to fly all the rest of that day. But people will call this a fake out liquidity sweep just because, again, they're chasing price or looking at the trend of flow price on the smaller time frame instead of identifying the trend on the bigger time frame. And again, you go to the YouTube channel, you go to my playlist, you go to the trade breakdown playlist. Every single video, over 90 videos, I start off the same exact way by telling y'all to identify the trend on a bigger time frame. That's for that exact reason. So we're gonna see if we can take out these highs to the left, and then we're gonna see if we can reach 3390, but it's gonna have to break past 3384 before we can get to it. You see, my audience is 3360, so you're up. You're up. Even if for a little minute. Again, like I was talking to the other person, I hope you're still in here, right? I hope I ain't scare you away, Dragon Lord, right? Because I know like that sounds blunt. Some people don't take that the right way, but it's all there. I hope you're still in here. You took what I said to heart because again, I say all that to help you save money because I told my story so many times, and I really like to look back on it because I don't like to talk about it, but I've wasted a lot of money doing that shit, right? Back when I was working 2 jobs, everybody knows the story unless you just found me a week ago or yesterday. Shout out to the new subscribers, shout out to the new members, right? But before I am at where I'm at now, I used to work 2 jobs, 6 days out the week. And the way my paychecks were set up, I was getting paid every 2 weeks. But because I was working 2 different jobs, the 2 weeks fell on different, they fell differently, right? So I was getting paid every week because this Friday, for example, would be the second week at one job, and the next Friday would be the second week at another job. So I was getting paid every week. But every paycheck, half, if not the entire paycheck, was getting thrown into live accounts and funded account challenges. And I was at the point, again, I was brand new to trading, doing what you were doing, everybody else does when they're brand new to trading. And I was just throwing my money away. I was talking about I was failing and buying 3 to 5 challenges a week. I was blowing refunding live accounts every other week. I did that shit for like I can't remember, it was so long ago. It was either like 8 months or a year straight. And I remember I think taxes came up and I was doing my taxes and I was like, wait, I made that much this year? And I went to my bank statements and hella money that is, right? But it was after that and a few other events that happened where I was like, okay, I need to stop because this is not working. Just me putting money in the account doesn't mean I'm gonna make money. I need to learn what the fuck's actually going on. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, so make sure, Val, you have a game plan. Don't let this winner turn into a loser because again, it's called unrealized profit for a reason because that profit is not yours until you close the trade and then ultimately withdraw. Right? So you're up a nice amount. So make sure you have a game plan and don't let those profits run away. New 5 minute just popped up. You guys got any questions? Drop them in the chat. Want to look at any charts? Drop them in the chat. All right, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the live. Shout out to everybody that's been alive since the beginning. Shout out to everybody that's been alive since y'all joined. Make sure to hit that first link in the description. Join a free signal, free Telegram. All right, y'all. See you on your screens how we did last month and last quarter. If you're interested in identify these lows, my signatures or mentorship programs, make sure to hit those links in the description, y'all. Again, you see how we did last month and last quarter. We were going absolutely crazy. If you want to contact me directly, y'all can DM me on Instagram, Telegram, or TikTok. I respond to all messages. Again, got a new video dropping for y'all at the beginning of the New York session today, so make sure to be on the lookout for that. As far as news events today, we got nothing going on until later on tonight, 6:45. We do got New Zealand news, so do keep that time in mind. And yeah, we're going to be back at the same time tomorrow, London session 3 a.m. EST.